Yo, what is up, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Anubis balance changes because Anubis was one of those stands that got a great rebalance in terms of his move set. Actually, a lot changed from what I've been testing. Like, a lot changed, but I think that overall, it is for the better. Now, Anubis is a much more balanced but still very strong stand. And I'm going to show you why through all the moves and stuff like that, because it's basically entirely different. I mean, this stand went from just being brutally broken to being like more balanced depending on the spec that you're using. And before I start with the kind of balance showcase, I would recommend you guys use boxing or kind of pluck, or I mean anything that isn't spin or vamp. I would recommend honestly, so you guys can go for that. The one thing which I'll point out is the skill tree. The Anubis skill tree now costs 66 skill points, or no, 54 skill points. Sorry, 54 skill points. When before, it actually costed like around 45 to 50, so not much change. They just more equally distributed the points. Like these upgrades before were 5, but this move was like 2 or 3. This was 3. This was also 3. This was also 3. So, and this was still 6. So not much change in the skill tree. Our moves are God of Death, which when you activate it, makes your M1s, M2s, and Enraged Fury have a chance to put a poison. After image, you get iframes and you become a speed demon. So you can like kind of confuse your enemy, but also escape out of combos. It's like an improved dash, but doesn't work on like during stun. It works if there's a little frame where right before you're getting comboed, you don't get stunned, then it works. Enraged Fury. You press X to perform a fury of M1 or of attacks. Curse Blade, the counter. Then the passive, which basically your M1s are faster and your fifth M1 block breaks, which is so nothing changed with that. And then the Cursed Imbued Slice, which makes it so that when you press T, 360 Imbued Slice, which procs bleeding. And Tough Spirit means that when God of Death is activated, your stand can't get knocked down. So now that we've gone through the skill tree, let's actually analyze the moves. So the first thing which changed from old Anubis is the destructive power. The destructive power beforehand, Anubis did 6.3 damage with M1s and 1.1 damage with Barrage. Now it does 0.9 with the Barrage and 5.5 with M1s, which is much less than before. Yeah, I mean, they kind of lowered it. I think they moved the destructive power from C tier to D tier, because that's the term Paragon's going to use now for destructive power. So yeah, destructive power has been lowered. The next move, which actually I wanted to show you guys, is so God of Death. The cooldown on this move has gotten like doubled. The cooldown, unless they've increased the duration, from what I'm seeing, the cooldown has been doubled from last time. Exactly flat doubled. And the poison stacks are the same. They're actually quite more efficient, but I'm not sure you can stack them. Yes, see, so they do more damage than the last poison stacks, but they last much less. This is to prevent previous bullshit with Anubis, where basically, I don't know, you got, let's say you had God of Death, you block broke your opponent, and let's say you got lucky, you would do 4 M1s, and then an Enraged Fury. Your enemy would take 20 poison stacks of 0.1 that would last like 20 years. And so they could never like stop and post a heal or like use a heal, because then it would the healing will be halved from it. So they basically couldn't heal for like the entire time you had God of Death activated, which was super annoying. So now they've doubled the cooldown, but they've made it so that kind of the ticks don't stack as much, and it lasts less. So yeah, see, like they don't stack that much now. Yeah, they don't stack. So it's pretty weird now because they actually do not stack that well. I think the stack is only 2, because before you could see like 40 of those like poison emojis at like per second. It was super OP. But yeah, cooldown doubled, and they reworked kind of the poison aspect of it. Now, actually, the next move is the counter. Let me use it. So the counter, they've lowered the damage significantly. Before, the counter did 20 damage and 20 damage. Now it does 16 and 16, which is a big change, per se, because now the counter will be much less effective, because before with Anubis you could just win fights off of purely just counter cycles. You could literally just cycle your counters. The cooldown, from what I'm seeing though, is the same, which is nice at least. I'm not sure if this goes through defenses. It might actually go through defenses. Don't fact check me on that, because I'm not entirely sure. But it might actually bypass defenses. I don't know, I'm just getting this vibe now with Anubis, that they might have given it. I mean, Cursed Imbued Slice 100% goes through defense, but I'm not sure with the counter. So yeah, that's the counter, 32 damage. Before it was 40, but the cooldown's the same, so nothing changed there. So the next move, actually, which I want to talk about, is the, so that's the parry dummy, okay. The Cursed Imbued Slice. So previously, what this move did was it did a 24 damage, 360 degree slash. So it did 24 damage. It did like 6 more damage worth of bleed. It went through block, was cancelable, and you could use it to combo extend, went through block, was cancelable. Now, if you look, let me use it first against the Godly Dummy. Let me wait for him to attack. So now it is uncancelable. The damage is 20. The cooldown looks like it appears to be slightly less, because I don't remember getting Cursed Imbued Slices this fast. It's still, by the way, it is still cancelable on knockdown. It is just no longer like cancelable through normal M1s anymore. So that's pretty cool. So let's wait for the knockdown M1. So well, I couldn't show it enough there, but trust me, guys, it's not cancelable anymore like normally. Only on knockdown. But one thing that changed about this move, which makes it much worse depending on the spec you're using, is this. So this is the block dummy, okay? Let me just block break him to refresh his block. This is a block dummy. Now watch this. Yeah. I think you guys could have seen for yourselves what just happened here. Cursed Imbued Slice is now blockable. Yeah, it's blockable. Let me do it again. It's blockable. You can hold block. This means that in order to use this stand, you must, and I mean must, either spam him once until you get a block break, or use Zoom Punch. There's no other way to go about this. From what I'm seeing, a block broke here because their block was exhausted. So now the block is refreshed, but this thing kind of makes this stand way worse. This makes this stand way worse. In a way that now Anubis relies much more on your spec rather than on your stand, which does make it more skillful in a way, but makes it much worse in another. Because like seeing that blockable is just It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me, especially because I've been using this stand like ever since release. So that's cursed imbued slice. And now, oh, and also it goes through defenses. So, like, if you have 20% boxing damage reduction, it'll do full damage anyways. It'll disregard passives. The next thing, however, if you let's try out the Enraged Fury. This is the parry dummy, and yeah, Enraged Fury is still parryable. However, the cooldown appears to be the same from what I'm seeing, unless it's like lowered by 4 seconds or because it wasn't this fast before. It was not this fast. It wasn't 20 seconds. Surely it was more. I can guarantee you guys that yes, it was more. Now let's do it on the dummy. So yeah, wow, the damage has gotten much worse. Before it did like 2.7 to 3.1 per like mini slash, and then like 10 to 13 for the final one, and now it does much less, 2, and then only 5. So that does, I'm guessing the slashes were 10, so that is 20 damage. Final slash 5 damage, so now that does 25 damage. So you definitely, and I repeat, definitely do not want to use this move without God of Death activated, because with God of Death, without God of Death, you can do 0.8 poisons, which is pretty significant in and of itself. Now you can't stack poisons with Anubis, which terribly sucks. But I mean, at least it gives some more usage out of Enraged Fury, but I don't honestly see it working. And it is no longer cancelable normally, from what I'm seeing. It is no longer cancelable. Let's try it out. From what I'm seeing, it's no longer cancelable. While we wait for its cooldown, there's just after image. So let's say, oh no, I'm getting hit. I'm gonna just get iframes and zoom, and I can just zoom around wherever I want, confusing my opponent and giving me some leeway to either pose, hide behind a column in a 1v1's map or something. So just pretty good move overall. Still the same. Nothing changed besides maybe the cooldown. And yeah, no, Enraged Fury is still cancelable. So they didn't change anything of this move. All they did was shortening the cooldown and nerfing the damage by like half. Because, I mean, it made sense because the old one did too much damage. But let's see, the 5th M1 still does indeed block break. So you do want to kind of spam that. Then get a Cursed Imbued and an Enraged Fury. And that is Anubis. So overall, the stand still really good. Definitely not as good as before. Still like very good, but not even near as good as what it was before. So that's just my take. Best specs, all the Hammons, boxing. You could also use it with Vamp if you want, and plug, of course. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next video.